There's something that happens in the silence between two people when they're truly connected. It's not always in the words or even in the touch. It's in the eyes. The way someone looks at you in the most intimate moments says more than any perfectly crafted sentence ever could. And during love making, that eye contact becomes everything. It becomes the moment where the performance drops, and what's left is the raw, unfiltered truth of how he feels about you. Most men don't even realize they're doing it. They don't consciously think, I'm going at her like this to show her what she means to me. No, it happens automatically, instinctively, because when he's deeply connected to you, when the act is more than just physical, the body starts telling the truth his words never did. To feel, the eyes are a window into his emotional state. They reveal whether he's present or escaping, whether he's holding on or pulling away. If he's truly in the moment with you, if what's happening between you is about connection, not just desire, his eyes will show you. A man kiss you with passion and still be somewhere else emotionally. He can touch you with intensity and still be chasing a feeling that has nothing to do with love. But when his eyes don't leave yours, when he looks into you, not just at you, and you feel like time is slowing down, that's something different. That's not a man who's using the moment. That's a man who's feeling it. That kind of gaze comes from a place of emotional safety and unconscious admiration. In that stare, he's letting you in. Even if he doesn't know how to articulate it, his body is already confessing what his ego may not let him say out loud. You ever notice how some men avoid deep eye contact during sex? They'll close their eyes, look away, focus on the mechanics. That's not always about being in the zone. It's often about hiding. It's a form of emotional escape. Because eye contact forces presence. It forces honesty. It doesn't let you hide behind the rhythm or the fantasy. It puts you face to face with the real feelings rising underneath the surface. And not every man is ready for that kind of vulnerability, but the ones who are, they'll hold your gaze like it anchors them. That kind of eye contact makes the moment feel like something sacred. It's not about control or domination. It's about reverence. You become less of an object and more of a home. His gaze starts to say, I see you. I'm right to feel. I'm not just touching your body. I'm with your soul. That's what intimacy is supposed to feel like. That's the level we rarely talk about because it's not sexy in the usual way. It's uncomfortable. It's overwhelming. It's real. But when it happens, when you feel that kind of presence, it shifts something in you. You realize this isn't casual. This isn't surface level. This isn't just skin against skin. This is emotional exposure, disguised as pleasure. In that moment, you don't feel like you have to perform. You don't feel like you're being watched or evaluated. You feel seen deeply. And that's when your body begins to trust him in a way that words could never create. That mutual stare becomes a language of its own. No talking required. Just breath, just connection, just presence. And it lingers even after the moment is over. And if you're wondering whether what you shared was real, go back in your mind to the eye contact. That's where the truth lies. Not in how he moaned or what he said or even how intense the climax was. Those things fade, they blur together, but the way he looked at you, that imprint stays. Because it wasn't about the sex. It was about the soul that came through it. Touch is one of the most primal forms of communication we have. It predates language, outlives words, and it never lies. During love making, the way a man touches you tells you more about his emotional state than anything he could possibly say. It's not just about physical pleasure. It's about presence, intent, and what he's actually feeling in the moment. Enough to feel. You can tell when someone's hands are exploring you like a checklist versus when they're trying to memorize you like a masterpiece. And the difference between the two is massive. When a man is truly connected to you, his touch slows down. It's not rushed. He's not just going through motions. He's absorbing you. His fingers trace you like he's trying to understand you on a deeper level, to feel. like your body is speaking to him and he's actually listening. And when that happens, something shifts. The moment stops being about climax and starts being about connection. You begin to feel less like an object of desire and more like a sacred experience. That's the power of intentional touch. You can always tell when someone is chasing a high versus when someone is present. The person chasing is frantic, gripping, pressing, pulling, like they're trying to reach something outside themselves. But when he's present to feel, when he's emotionally in the room with you, movements soften. There's still intensity, but it's layered with gentleness, curiosity, focus. He's not trying to conquer you. He's trying to understand you. That's the difference between sex and intimacy. Intimacy is quiet. It's attentive. It's deeply personal. And when a man touches you from that place, his hands start saying the things he doesn't yet know how to speak. He may not even realize it, but the way he holds you, after the way he runs his fingers down your back or cups your face like it's the most precious thing he's ever held, those are emotional imprints. His touch becomes a form of emotional language. And it's in those quiet gestures where the truth leaks out. That's where you'll find his vulnerability. That's where you'll catch the feelings he's trying to keep hidden. Because no one can fake presence. No one can fake that kind of tenderness in the middle of a moment that strips you both down to your most honest selves. And sometimes it's not even the overtly sexual touch that tells you the most. It's the in-between, the grazing of your arm, the soft pull of your hand into his chest, the forehead pressed gently against yours. Those subtle, seemingly small acts carry the biggest weight. They say, I'm not just here for what I can take from you. I'm here to meet you. It's not about domination or performance. It's about comfort, safety, emotional nakedness. When a man is truly in it with you, his hands soften because he isn't trying to control the moment. He's surrendered to it. That surrender is rare. Most people perform. They show up with what think they're supposed to do. They move based on what they think you want. But when someone forgets the performance and simply responds to you, when his hands move with intuition instead of expectation, you feel it. Enough feel. You feel yourself menting into the moment, not because it's perfect, but because it's real. And that's the thing. We're not wired to remember every movement, every position, or every word whispered. But we do remember how someone made us feel. And so much of that feeling is carried in the way they touch us. There's a kind of afterglow that comes when someone's touch feels safe, when it feels like it meant something. You feel that comfort in your body. You feel the calm. You don't leave the moment wondering if it mattered to him. You know it did. Because he showed you even when he didn't say it. And longer the passion fades, long after the lights go out and life resumes, it's that feeling that stays. It's that memory that lingers, because his touch wasn't just skin deep. It reached a place deeper than physical, because he was never just touching your body. He was holding your truth. There's this myth that during sex, men are only chasing pleasure, that it's all physical, all instinct, and nothing more. But the truth is far more complex. When a man is truly connected to the woman he's with, when lovemaking becomes something deeper than release, his body might still be leading, but his emotions start catching up. And when they do, something powerful happens. To feel. You'll notice it in the way he breathes, the way he pauses, the way his entire energy shifts in the middle of the moment. It's not just pleasure anymore. It's emotion, raw and filtered, and sometimes overwhelming. Most men were never taught how to hold space for emotion in the middle of intimacy. They were taught perform, to lead, to chase the high, to be in control. But when you're with someone who stirs something deeper in you, that control begins to unravel, not in a chaotic way, but in a vulnerable one. Suddenly, he's not just doing the act, he's feeling it. And it surprises him, because emotion during sex isn't something we talk about, and certainly not something men are encouraged to feel. So when it surfaces, it hits hard and hits real. You might see it in the way he slows down without knowing why. The moment gets quieter, softer. His breathing gets heavier, not just from effort, but from the emotional weight building inside him. You might notice his expression shift, not from arousal, but from something deeper. He might close his eyes, press his forehead to yours, or even pause altogether like he's trying to ground himself in the moment because something just cracked open inside of him. That's not acting. That's emotional surrender. That's his heart stepping into a moment his body already started. There's often a moment, deep intimacy, where a man realizes he's not just physically inside someone, he's emotionally exposed too, and that hits differently. It shakes something loose. Suddenly, it's not just about touch. It's about being seen, being felt, and being felt back. Feel. That kind of emotional exposure is terrifying for someone who spent years building armor. Because sex has always been a place to escape. But now it's not an escape. It's a mirror. It's showing him where he actually is emotionally, and if he's with someone who makes him feel safe in that space, he'll let it happen, even if he doesn't know how to explain it. And that's the thing, most men won't be able to verbalize this. They won't come out of the moment saying, "Wow, I just felt deeply connected to you and overwhelmed by what you mean to me." No, but their body will say it. Their energy will show it. You'll see it in how tightly they hold you, how long they stay still in your arms after. You'll feel it in the way they go quiet, not out of detachment, but because they're processing. And if you're paying attention, you'll recognize that what you just shared was more than physical. It's easy to dismiss these signs if you're not used to intimacy carrying this kind of emotional charge. You might think the moment of stillness was just fatigue, or the quiet was just him zoning out. But look closer. When a man's heart is engaged in the moment, even if he's not ready to admit it, his body can't help but react. He'll grip you tighter. His breathing will change. He might even tear up without understanding why, not because he's sad, but because something inside him finally got touched in a way that wasn't sexual at all. It was spiritual, emotional, human. We live in a world where lovemaking is constantly sold as passion and chemistry and explosion. But the most profound moments don't always look like fire. Sometimes they look like silence. Sometimes they look like stillness. Sometimes they look like a man holding you, like he's afraid to let go because the first time in a long time, he actually felt something. And that feeling scared him more than the physical ever could. That's the space where real connection is built. That's the place where men begin to open, not because they're trying to, but because they can't help it. Their nervous system responds to safety. Their emotions leak out when they're no longer defending themselves. And in that exact moment, you're no longer just lovers. You're witnesses to each other's truth. And it's not something you plan for. It's something you feel, and it's something you never forget. There's something that happens after love making that tells you everything you need to know. Not during the passion, not during the intensity, but in those quiet moments after. That's when the truth finally comes out. Because when the physical is over, when the high begins to fade, what's left is the emotional residue. And that never lies. You can fake a performance, you can say the right words, you can move the right way, but you cannot fake what your energy does after intimacy. That moment, those first few minutes right after, become the clearest window into how he really feels. You don't need a man to tell he loves you to know whether he's emotionally invested. Just watch what he does when it's all over. Does he turn his back, reach for his phone, go silent in a way that feels distant, not peaceful? Or does he pull you close, hold you like the connection hasn't ended but simply shifted? That's where the truth lies, in the afterglow. In the small, subconscious decisions he makes once the external motivation of desire has been fulfilled. Because what a man does after is a direct reflection of what the moment meant to him. And there's no pretending in that space. It's in the way he breathes next to you, in the way his arm searches for yours without thinking, in the way he stays present even without words. That present feel, if it's real, means the intimacy wasn't just physical. It reached something deeper. And the reason this moment matters so much is because it's when his nervous system relaxes. The walls drop. His body is no longer in pursuit, so what's left is core emotional truth. That's when you see if he felt safe, if he felt seen, if he felt anything beyond the physical release. And if he did, he won't just walk away from that. He'll want to stay in it. Some people think the real magic happens during sex, but it's not true enough to feel. The real magic is in the stillness afterward. It's the energy that lingers. It's how he holds you, or how he avoids holding you, how quickly he moves away, or how tightly he keeps you near. A man who's emotionally disconnected will often retreat fast, not because he's cruel, but because staying close too exposed, too revealing. But a man who's emotionally attached will do the opposite. He'll want to extend that connection for as long as possible, because it wasn't just about the experience, it was about you. And sometimes the most powerful thing you'll feel is his silence. But it's not the kind of silence that creates distance. It's the kind that deepens the bond. The kind where no one's rushing to fill space with words, because what was just shared already said enough. That silence can feel like safety, like peace, like home. And when he's still in that moment with you, when he doesn't flinch or flee, when his hands are still wrapped around you, that's a man who isn't just in your bed. He's in your herd, whether he knows it or not. You might notice how his body stays relaxed next to yours, or how he gently traces your skin even when the moment is over. These are not random habits. These are signs. They're his body language telling you, I'm still here. I'm not done feeling this. Because for someone who's emotionally present, the end of sex doesn't mean the end of intimacy. It just means the beginning of something quieter, softer, more revealing. It means the real connection starts now. And this is where so many people get hurt, because they ignore the after. They believe the words whispered during passion, but they don't pay attention to the energy that follows. If you want to know how much it meant to him, if you want to know if you're just a moment or something deeper, don't ask him. Watch him. Watch how he treats you in the hour after. Watch how quickly he needs to leave or distract himself. Or watch how he stays even when he doesn't have to. How he lets the moment breathe. How he lets you breathe. That's the truth. Because no man can fake what he feels. The mask of desire has fallen. In that raw space, his actions become confessions. His stillness becomes a statement. And what he chooses to do after lovemaking, whether to disappear or to stay present, that is the real message. That's when the words stop and the soul starts speaking. And you won't have to ask if it mattered to him. You'll already know.